Okay, so I was just wondering if you could kind of tell me how you got started sponsoring the children through Children International.
Every year, my birthday's in December, and every year I wanted to start the new year off doing something. And it was like little stuff from collecting things or helping out. And then I started doing charities, and I would make like a pretty good, decent sized donation like the end of the year. But it was one of those things where you made the donation, but you weren't exactly sure where it was going. So I started researching more. A friend of mine told me about, you could sponsor children through various organizations. And it was one night after work, got home midnight, couldn't sleep, got online, went through and researched a bunch, and I came across Children International, and signed up and started with my first two kids.
Cool. And how long ago was that?
February 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been doing it a couple of years now, and how many children do you have total that you sponsor?
I have 11
now?
children.
11.
11.
That is a lot.
Yes.
Okay, so is this all of them here?
This is all of them. I started out with 2, that turned into 2, turned into 6, and then I just kind of snowballed after that. Because when you get their letters and you see what kind of impact you have in their life and what you're actually doing, it, for lack of a better word, becomes almost like an obsession. Like, it drives you to help more. So my newest one is Fernando. He's from Mexico. Barshan is from India. Did you want to go through a name already?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd love to know their names.
Himanshu is from India. Halima is from India. Arpan is from India. Evelyn is from Mexico. Pratik is from India. Erickson is from Honduras. Angela is from Zambia. Allison is from Honduras. And Ashish is from India. So majority of my children are in India.
In India.
Yeah.
So how do you decide? I mean, do you get to choose which child you
do.
sponsor? Or
You
how
do.
did you decide?
They have like an online profile where you see their picture and it gives like a family history. So I based it off of what the monthly income, you have access to the information, what the monthly income was for them and how many people they were supporting on that. And basically I chose by the most needy. You have that option.
Yeah.
So I started with Evelyn and Erickson were my first 2 that I started with.
And you do sometimes, it's not just like a one by one, sometimes you would pick 2 at a time or multiple at a time.
Yeah, when I first started with these 2, and that was, I believe, February 3rd. And at the time I was working at Donnelly, so my shift was like a 6-hour shift. I went to work, came back, signed on, they were added to my account, and then I added 2 more. And I thought 4 was a good number, and I stayed with 4 for a while, and then a few months later, I'm not sure exactly who I had added after that, I added 1 more, and then it was just kind of one at a time. And then I was looking for an older child, because there's a lot of older children that can't get sponsorship. They remain in the program, but there's no correspondence with a sponsor. There's no additional, little bonuses for them. So I took on Ashish, who was 17. He has probably end of this year, next year, until he's out of the program. So took him, and then because I'll soon be losing him, I took on Fernando. I got to 11, and I thought that's good.
So is it once they get to a certain age, they kind of phase
They
out
graduate out of the program,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why Children International? What was it about that organization that you liked over the other ones you
They seem to offer not only the children more opportunities, they also offer the sponsors more opportunities. Like, you are permitted to visit your children, and they encourage that, to go. You can send them direct packages. You can pretty much help them in any way and become involved, more involved in their life. Whereas other organizations that I looked at, it was, you paid the monthly fee, but there was really no involvement. They didn't encourage or didn't even suggest you go visit your child. It was kind of, back and forth. And I wanted an organization that was a lot of hands-on, and they provide, dental care. They provide, some medical care. They help with schooling. They really help the kids a lot more. It goes a long way with the various programs that they have.
Okay. I saw on your Facebook page that you can provide like extra gifts to the kids,
can, yes.
and you can send them presents. And I think I saw you send like a birthday shirt and things like that.
I have one somewhere. Yeah, you can send them what's called an EG, which is an extra gift, and basically what that is it's additional money that's not required, but it's additional money outside the sponsorship fee. That money goes to the agency, and then the agency with a representative will take them shopping. It allows for them to basically buy what they need.
Yeah.
So for my children in India, I pay for their education, because to get a good education in India requires private tutoring, you know, and a lot of families can't afford that. So I help with that. This actually was Allison in Honduras. And basically what you get is you get a letter thanking you for your gift, and then you get pictures that show you what they bought, and you also get like a detailed report. So this was another plus for Children International, because you get to see what your money's doing, you know, by buying food, and she bought items for, you know, for school and stuff.
Yeah,
So
I saw this picture online and was just amazed with, you know, they get that extra money and they buy food, because
yeah.
You know, you don't think if you get some extra gift money that you're
like me at that age, I would want whatever the latest
Right.
toys were, you know, but they provide for their families. With Erickson, he needed some things for himself, and he spent all the money on his parents, you know, buying food and things that they need. And then he bought himself shoes for school and a little outfit, but the majority of that was for his parents.
Yeah, pretty humbling.
Yeah.
So they also send you, we can see they send you pictures, so you get updated every year with the picture?
You get an annual picture
for
every year.
Each of them?
Yeah.
And then they send letters as well?
Yeah, you correspond. It takes a while to get letters, because you know they have to translate depending on what country it's going to, but you correspond back and forth. Children International says you're guaranteed at least 2 letters a year. All my children that I picked are writing fiends, so I constantly will get something like this one day in the mailbox, and I have to go through and try to answer
because you
all
probably
that.
feel like you know them pretty well.
You do. You get to know them. You get to know a lot about their family. You get to know, you know, about their medical history, if there's anything they need, their school. A lot of them really enjoy school. Like, they're very enthusiastic about school versus children here. So it's kind of odd for that, especially to say, you know, I love science and I love math, and, you know, something I can't relate to because those were not my favorite subjects. But, you know, it's really amazing.
So do you have plans to sponsor any more? Or is it kind of, it seems like it's kind of an addiction, like you start out and then you just want to do more.
I do want one more. But what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till Ashish graduates out of the program, and then maybe, you know, see about getting, because right now my youngest one is 5, so I have like 13, 14 years left with him. Other ones, he's going to be 16 coming up. These two I call my birthday twins because they share the exact same birthday, and they both go to the same Children International Center. I'm not sure if they know each other. Once my kids start getting a little bit older and they're ready to graduate, then I'll see about, you know, maybe adding just one. I promise myself one at a time.
So do you think it's something you'll continue, like, as they graduate out of the program, they'll just kind of pick up more?
Absolutely, yeah. I know with Pratik, he wants to become a scientist, and I've offered to help him with his college. It's not required. I mean, once I graduate out of the program, you can exchange personal information. For right now, everything goes to the agency. But when they graduate, you can give them your phone number, your email, your telephone address, whatever. And with him, he's an only child. All my other children have siblings, but it's just him and his parents. And he has older parents, which would be, I guess, considered a grandparent age. And science is his thing. And it's like, I never went to college. I had a scholarship to NYU, and I thought, no, I'm going to go travel the world. I'm going to go see things. But for him to have that opportunity, I definitely stand by that. You know, and definitely want to help him out with that.
Do you think you'll travel to go visit any of them?
I do, yeah. But it's really hard. It's I want to go to Honduras, but that's not really the safest place. But then I want to go to India, but it's like I'm terrified of monkeys and bees. They have bees like the size of your fist. It's really, really hard. You know, if I went to India, a majority of my children I could see probably all at the same time. But I'm thinking possibly these two, because they're both in Honduras. They both go to the same center. And in my head, I always have like a little love story picture. You know, they meet, they fall in love, you know. But I think I definitely next year would like to plan a trip to Honduras to go see those two.
That'd be great.
They both beg me all the time in their letters, please come see us. Yeah.
That must be sweet and kind of heartbreaking at the same time.
It is, because you know, you want to go. If I were younger, I wouldn't even think about it. Gone. You know, but now you're older, you have responsibilities, you have things to do. But yeah, it's definitely a dream of mine.
You don't have to answer this one if you don't want to, but just budget-wise, I mean, is it like a huge hit on your budget to do this? Or, I mean, I guess it has to be like a conscious thing that you...
It's something I don't admit to, but it is.
Yeah.
I kind of can afford it and I kind of cannot afford it. But I have to give, you know, like I've dedicated my life to this. I don't have, you know, I don't have children of my own. My siblings have kids. I don't. And this just means the world to me, just to give back. And me going without something is nothing compared to what they would go without. You know, going without shoes, going without food. Oh, I'm going to cry. A couple of my kids, their family income is $50 a month. And there's, you know, with him, I believe it just went up to $60 a month, but it's him and his parents, but even one person. Like, imagine, you know, people spend that in a day.
Yeah.
And this is what they're living on in a month. I believe with Angela, I think her family is at $50, and it pretty much supports her entire family. You know, but I do what I have to, and you know, I'm not a big coffee drinker, so I don't drink the fancy coffees or whatever. But I have what I need. They're children, you know, they're the future.
Yeah.
So if I can, you know, give to them and do without myself, that's fine.
When you post on your Facebook page, you write that they're your purpose and that you're blessing them with your support, but that you're the one who's
they're blessing me.
Yeah.
They're absolutely
talk
blessing
about
me.
that a little bit?
You always hear stories in the news about other countries and what happens there, and you kind of get, you know, your own idea of what's going on there. And then through the kids, you know, you think when people talk about like Zambia, you know, my thought was they live out in the middle of nowhere, they're surrounded by wild animals, they have to worry about getting eaten and this and that. And then you get to know your child through the letters and find out it's totally it's equivalent to like us living in the country. But instead of like bears and foxes, they have elephants, they have zebras, they have like, you know, she thinks these walk around in my backyard, and I'm like, no, I don't have those. I do support other charities, you know, when you send your check in once a year or whatever it is, and then you get a thank you back, your little tax receipt, and that's it.
Yeah.
You know, you actually don't know unless you go digging. With this, it comes to you. You see what the experience is.
You see the impact that you're making directly.
Exactly. And that just fuels you even more, you know, to be able to give. And I feel blessed that I'm, you know, sometimes financially and sometimes not, but I'm able to do that. And I'm able to give. And it's something I wish, you know, a lot of people would do, but I realize, you know, everybody has their own, you know, thing that they want to do in life. But yeah, I feel I get a lot more from them than probably what they get from me.
This is not necessarily related to the kids, but I noticed that your page is full of things that kind of point to this positive attitude that you have, finding beauty in everyday things, and you know, you're on your mail truck and take pictures of like random flowers or sky, and just kind of try to pull the beauty out of everything. Have you always been so positive?
No, believe it or not, no. I wouldn't say I was a very positive person. I wouldn't say I was a very negative person. I was kind of like in that fine line. I could jump the fence either way. But a friend of mine, Lisa Bonchek-Adams, she passed away in 2015 from cancer. She's a native of Lancaster. F&M, their auditorium actually is named after her. Through everything she went through, I mean, everybody watched. I got to know her through Twitter, and then we bonded offline. We all watched her struggle. To us, it was a struggle. To her, it was everyday life of what she had to go through with chemo and this and that. And no matter what she went through, she kept a positive attitude. And I kind of looked at myself after getting to know her, and it's like, she has all these tubes, and you know, she had a long period of where she was battling, and then she was fine. She went into remission, and then boom, that fast it came back with a vengeance. But her attitude, at least what she portrayed, was always positive. And I thought, here I am complaining about stupid stuff
Yeah.
when she has major life stuff going on, and which I'll have to get you the quote. I can't remember it right now. It is actually on my Facebook page about finding beauty. Do you have it?
Well, I had. I don't know if that's the one you were talking about, but
It was like
you do have one that I love by Robert Ingersoll.
Okay, yeah.
We rise by lifting others.
Exactly.
I love that.
There's that one, and then there's Lisa's one, which I cannot remember off the top of my head. It's something about find a bit of beauty. More or less look for the beauty in the world. There's a lot of ugliness, there's a lot of darkness, but there's a lot of beauty out there. And you just have to look for it. And that was her motto. And after she passed away, all the papers, from USA Today, New York Times, everybody just kind of ran with that. And since her passing, it's been 2 years now, it's like I still have a part of that in me. If I get to that point where I'm kind of leaning towards the negative, I stop, assess the situation, and try to find, something positive about it. So when I'm out, doing my job, I take pictures of random things, something beautiful, a little flower in the concrete, weeds, something that, I know that she would find beautiful.
Yeah. I think she would find this beautiful, what you do for these kids.
I started in February of 2015. She passed away in March. So the last month of her life, we didn't get to talk, we didn't get to communicate. But I know it was something that she would definitely think is wonderful.